Andrew filed for divorce the very next day. He returned home late at night, when he was sure Ashley was asleep. He didn't want to see her. He didn't want to hear a single lie, a single scream. When he entered the bedroom, she was lying on the bed in a silk robe. Her phone was flashing on the nightstand next to her. Andrew paused for a moment. He wanted to take that phone, wanted to check every message. But he immediately realized that he didn't need to know anything else. What he had seen with his own eyes was enough. He took a suitcase from the closet and began packing his things. "What are you doing?" Ashley said coldly, without opening her eyes. "Packing my things. I'll stay at a hotel until you find another place." "You think I'm going anywhere?" Her voice became fierce. "This is my home as much as it is yours. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine here." He stopped, sighed, and turned back to her. "Ashley, I've filed for divorce. It's over." "Oh, really?" She propped herself up on her elbow, her hair falling over her face. "You know, Andrew, you're pathetic even in this. Do you think the court will give you the apartment? You're a fool. I'll say you beat me." "What?" He smiled silently. "You're crazy." "No, dear." She stretched her lips into a smile. "I just know how the world works." The next day, she actually called his lawyer and claimed that Andrew was dangerous and aggressive. The lawyer called him in the middle of the night. "She wants to get a temporary restraining order against you, Andrew. This is serious." "That's absurd," he shouted into the phone. "I know. But if she goes to the police, it will complicate matters." Andrew realized that this was only the beginning. After the first court hearing, Ashley walked past him silently, as if he were invisible. But that night she sent him a message. "I'll take everything. Even your ties, you pathetic banker, smiley face." He deleted the message and didn't reply. A few days later, Andrew ran into Brian, Ashley's boyfriend, in the parking lot near the dance studio. He was walking to his car when Andrew stopped abruptly in front of him. "Listen here, macho man," he began coldly. "I don't want to see you in my life. Take this hysterical woman and disappear." Brian laughed, showing his even white teeth. "Oh, you still think this is love? For me, it's just business, my friend. She pays me for lessons. And very generously." Andrew felt everything inside him collapse. "What are you talking about?" "The fact that she's not just sleeping with me." Brian shrugged. "There's another guy. And another. Want the addresses?" Andrew turned away and walked off. He didn't want to know any more. But inside, something was no longer just hurting, it was burning with cold anger. A few days later, he was shocked by another blow. Almost $10,000 had disappeared from Andrew's bank account. Ashley had access to their joint card. When he tried to call her, she didn't answer. But the next morning, he received an email. "I spent it on myself. I'm worth it. If you don't like it, take me to court. Good luck." Andrew almost smashed his phone against the wall. He met with a lawyer. "I want to freeze all joint accounts. Let that bitch pay for her own dancing." "Andrew, you have to be careful," the lawyer advised. "She plays hardball." One evening, he decided to stop by his house to pick up some documents and a couple of suits. But when he opened the door, he heard voices coming from the apartment. A man's laughter. Ashley's hysterical laughter. He walked into the bedroom and saw Ashley lying on the bed in a bathrobe, with an unfamiliar man sitting next to her, clearly not Brian. On the table was an open bottle of expensive champagne, his favorite. "Oh, hello, man," she exclaimed. "Didn't you expect a surprise?" Andrew didn't answer. He went to the closet, took out his suit and a folder with documents. The man on the bed said something, but Andrew didn't even hear the words. His brain was ringing from the silence inside. As he was leaving, Ashley called after him. "Please don't forget to pay the rent. I'm your legal wife, for now." The next day, he began collecting evidence of her infidelity and spending. Bank statements, photos from the studio, surveillance camera recordings. He hired a private investigator. And the more he learned, The more he realized, he was just a wallet to Ashley. And love? It had been gone for a long time. But she didn't know that he wasn't the same Andrew she had been with for years. He learned to look her in the eye and smile. He stopped responding to her screams. And when she sent him another message saying, "You're still pathetic, you're nobody without me," he just saved it, as more evidence for the court. But he had no idea that the real surprise was yet to come. One evening, the detective gave him some photos. In them, Ashley was not with Brian or with the stranger from his apartment. She was sitting at a table in a restaurant with an older man, a respectable man in an expensive suit. He was holding her hand, and she was smiling at him the same way she used to smile at Andrew. The detective said, "This is Jonathan Smith. He works at a bank that your company does business with. He may be connected to your missing money." Andrew clutched the photos in his hands. So she's not just a bitch. She's a fraudster. And then he realized, the game wasn't over yet. Andrew sat in his lawyer's office looking at the photos sent by the private investigator. In one of them, Ashley was sitting on the lap of Jonathan Smith, a respected banker with whom his firm had contracts. He saw her relaxed smile, saw her arms wrapped around his neck. The lawyer sighed. "It looks like your wife isn't just cheating on you. She's playing a bigger game. Did she steal my money from my accounts through him?" Andrew looked him straight in the eye. "It's possible. This man may know how to do it quietly. Do you want to go to the police?" "Not yet." Andrew slowly wiped the sweat from his forehead. "I want them both to feel what it's like when your world falls apart." That night, for the first time in weeks, he called Ashley himself. She answered as soon as she saw his name. "So, did you miss me?" Her voice was sugary sweet and poisonous at the same time. "Yes, Ashley, I missed you. Let's meet. I want to talk." "Ha, about what?" "How you're going to beg me not to take everything away from you." She laughed. "I want to offer you a deal. Money. The apartment. Everything. Let's just part amicably." "Amicably?" She snorted. "Okay, Andrew. Try to surprise me." They met at an expensive restaurant in the city center, a place where they used to go to celebrate their anniversaries. Ashley wore a red dress that he had once bought her in Miami. She looked like a star on the red carpet, but now he saw only cold emptiness behind her smile. "Well?" She sipped her champagne. "What did you want?" "The deal." He placed the envelope in front of her. 30,000. "Wow." She snorted. "Generous. And I get to keep the apartment. You take the money and get out of my life for good." "Are you kidding?" Her voice was sharp as a knife. "I'll take everything, Andrew. And I'll sue you for alimony." "For what?" He looked calmly into her eyes. "There are no children. I'll say we were planning to have a baby, but you caused me moral damage." "It works, my lawyer said so." "Oh, you'll say a lot of things." He smiled so softly that she was taken aback for a second. Then he took out a second folder. "And these are copies of bank statements. Photos of you and Smith. Recordings from the cameras near the dance studio. And that's just part of it. Are you blackmailing me?" Her voice took on a metallic edge. "No. I'm saving your skin. If you leave peacefully, these papers stay with me. If not, I'll expose your whole dirty life in court. And I'll go to the police. Do you know what financial fraud is? It's a prison sentence, dear." Ashley threw the napkin on the table. Her hand trembled. "You think I'm scared?" "No." He leaned closer to her. "I think you only love money and yourself. And prison is not on your wish list." She was silent. Her eyes flashed with lightning. "Think about it, Ashley." He stood up. "You have 2 days." She didn't call the next day. Instead, the detective called. "Andrew, there's news." She tried to transfer another 15,000 offshore. Through Jonathan. "And? We've gathered everything for the police. If you want, we can open a case tomorrow." "No. Wait." Andrew felt everything inside him tighten into a single knot. "I'll tell her myself." On the third day, He arrived at the apartment when he knew she would be there. He entered without knocking. Ashley was sitting in the kitchen with her laptop. Her hair was tied back in a ponytail, and she had bruises under her eyes. She no longer looked like a queen. "What do you want?" she shouted, without even looking up. "You lost, Ashley." He threw another folder on the table. "Now I have recordings of your calls with Smith. He ratted you out. He doesn't want to go to jail for fraud. You're lying. Check it out." He laughed quietly. "He's already turned you in. And I'm giving you one last chance. Sign the agreement, take the money, and you're free." She stood up abruptly, her eyes shining with tears and rage. "You destroyed me!" she hissed like a snake. "I loved you!" "No." He looked at her for a long time, as if seeing her for the first time. "You loved my money. And yourself?" A week later, they signed all the documents. She left, without an apartment, without bills, only with the money he had given her. Her lawyer didn't even try to contest the terms. Everything fell apart for her as quickly as it had been built. And Jonathan Smith lost his job at the bank. Andrew made a deal with management. He gave them copies of the financial machinations. In exchange, his company avoided a major scandal. 2 months passed. Andrew sat on the terrace of his apartment, now completely his own. He looked at the city, drank coffee, and thought about how everything could have ended differently if he had opened his eyes in time. Around 2 a.m, he received a message. "I still hate you. You ruined me." He smiled and deleted it without replying. Then he put his phone down and finally felt real life returning to him, without lies, without dancing in the dark, without hysterics. Just him, the silence, and the city, which was now new to him.